The 12th, 2016. This is number 364. I clearly work for the United States Embassy as the #1 sovereign ambassador of all time. For indeed, I even have my press credentials. You can check U.S. Press Association. There's my member ID. And the most interesting thing is on the back of my press credentials, which is again here, this is the bigger copy. It specifically says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. For indeed, I was kidnapped multiple times on orders of Robert D. Rose, #1 world terrorist. Why call him anything else? He even sent me an email on June the 10th from 2 months ago. Says, please do not email me again. That's enough information for the NSA, CIA, military, literally FBI, Attorney General, U.S. Marshals, and even the public to find him. Put him on death row for all the major treason, espionage, sedation, overthrow of governments that he has initiated actually when he was around 20 years of age. His birth date of Robert D. Rose is April 1st, 1971. Now, what I have it here is the world's first design of the #1 world government that removes all corruption in the first place. The name is called unocracy.com. Here's what you might consider a business card with a new symbol for the national and international conglomeration of federated, call it federated world. It deals with christdomain.com. Built by Keith, has all the prime information. Bid on Keith is how I will earn my way around the world. And Savior Keith is one of the most critical ones. For Solution Judge and Solution Government all tie into unocracy. There's a little bit of wind here today as I'm posting around the world as the #1 most powerful world evangelist, crusader, broadcast analyst. I'll remove my hat. That's what everyone else should be doing in the time of prayer. For indeed, as a broadcast journalist and evangelist crusader, I've repeated again, this is one of the most critical groups for everyone to join. It's called unityurl.com, Reformation. For indeed, it happens to be a meetup group, one of my favorites, and it all ties in to solutiongovernment.com, which is the only way for the world to unify all of mankind, all 7.42 billion of my people, as we shun all the criminals, and if we need to, we put them on death row. I'm not against people that are unremorseful and that are terrible people like Al-Qaeda leader, Bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, Hitler, all the evil, most remorseful, satanic antichrists in world history, for even God put them to death when he handed them over to his own people. Who is God's people? Jesus Christ never said you must be Jew. You must be convert to Judaism in order to have a relationship with God. And that's the biggest fallacy of all the major churches, including Roman Catholics, Mormons, Islam, even Buddhists, yes, Seventh-day Adventists, pretty much name it, Baptist, Methodist, everyone. They're all saying we are the one and only true church of God. It can't be true. It's logically impossible. For what's happened over the years is I have been defrauded of over $500 million. Yes, so that's real and punitive damages times 3. I was professionally evaluated as a multimillionaire in the summer of 2011. I'd been to every single law enforcement agency known to man, including the military, on September 25th, 2011, to debrief them, to take them to the FBI, the Attorney General's offices, and remand and demand an order that Robert Rose, I'm getting all coughed up because the puke and the criminals and the monkey kings are the people that are in your government, and your banksters and fraudsters and underground criminals and political criminals who've taken over your governments and your corporations because you, my people, have no control over them. Yet with Solution Government and URL Ident, you will manage and control every single one of your leaders and their decisions. It's always that simple. And I have all these cards here underneath that I'm still referring to. One of the most powerful ones happens to be Solution God. And here I'm actually in China when I left the United States in February 2015 because I was threatened by all these people, including Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates. She'll go to prison along with Thurman Jackson, federal judge in Norfolk, Virginia, and each and every person who's falsely testified against me to keep #1 terrorist Robert D. Rose off of death row. I've even invoked the Patriot Act. I've offered to testify in front of Congress. I was actually at Congress in Washington, D.C., National Prayer Day 2014. Right after I was dumped on the street, completely isolated and impoverished by everyone who stole all my assets. So I filed all the police department reports, went to my insurance companies, filed all the proper claims, and was denied each and every one of my rights. So I ordered the USA government to put all my accusers on trial for conspiracy to murder, for they almost got away with it except for Dr. Williams in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Butner Medical Jail. See, I didn't do anything wrong, and they used the single word incompetent to say, oh, you have no rights. You cannot speak in court. You cannot submit evidence. You may not access your own money. You may not call the federal government. You may not contact your own lawyers who already had this pile of information. It's known as paper chase conspiracies that were all custom designed by Robert Rose and everyone else to build up and kill my impeccable, irreproachable, and irrevocable credentials. For indeed, I'm one of the most smartest, well, the word is mastermind genius intellects of all time, teaching the entire world how to solve their own problems. It's always been that simple to see. And this is the #1 paradise, Philippines, who will be the #1 country in the entire world to kick out all political criminals, therefore shunning and isolating all other criminals. That's with Interpol, URL ident.com. Right now I'm on a single road that goes to this school that needs your funding, which is babaywanes.com, very easy to find. And indeed, I was almost going to double record on my tripod here. I'm actually on my motorcycle today. And again, here's my USA Embassy hat that I purchased when I was at the embassy. And I was told that my credentials were forged by the same FBI agent that I interviewed with 6 months ago in Manila. I will be world famous with my wife, Maritas Duncan, as we were married 2 weeks ago, to teach the entire world how to love and care for each other. It's really the basis for all relationship remanagement. For there's over 75, more like 100 individual websites that solve individual problems, and it's all documented in what I call the Library of Keith Congress on ICIunderstand.com and ICJustice, thetruthvault.com, and all the other singular solutions that are biblical and ordained scriptural revelations for all of mankind. So welcome to the Universal Show of Broadcast Studios. That's the most powerful testimony of all time. I'm using the criminals' own evidence that they have signed and shown to the entire world that you too, my people, can and will and shall take matters into your own hands and, not the word crucify, resurrect honesty, integrity, and all the other attributes of Matthew chapter 24. Yes, go read Matthew chapter 23, which is the strongest relationship management terms that Jesus Christ ever used, along with so many other great forefounders. And yes, Matthew chapter 24 tells people exactly who I am. As the resurrection is not the rise and fall, it's the rise and the fall and the re-rise. The phoenix from the ashes, which is Phoenix Harrison, Norfolk, Virginia, who's as guilty as everyone else and faces death row. Too bad for all these people because they were criminally incompetent. And I'll use that word over and over again. Criminally incompetent to refuse my rights to face every one of my accusers and to show them their own signatures and their own false testimony. And they're doing this to you, my people, at the cost of trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars are being systematically drained from your assets and your wallets and from your bank accounts like Wells Fargo because nobody cares. Nobody cares anymore. And this is not a sermon. This is the master teacher. And I could wear my white shirt today my robes, my white flowing robes if need be, but instead I'm wearing my Jesus Festival shirt. There it is, jesus.festival.org, that I attended about 2 months ago. Love to talk to Chad Mansfield, as well as Joey Bonifacio, and of course the new president of the Philippines is going to love interviewing me, as well as the Philippine military who have already visited the United Nations, World Health Organization, pretty much everyone, including Interpol. Who's going to fly me to visit them now? It's simple. Use and bid on Keith.com at 120% guaranteed contractual agreement between you and myself and my team that's going to grow to be 7.42 billion people as soon as you, my people, take action. It's not hard to do. Very few people have the fearless authority of people who actually know what they're doing to teach each other how to love and care for each other. A little bit breezy here. We actually have some cowbell in the field here. This is what I call their beasts of burden. And we'll use the criminals, the very highest level multi-billionaire criminals that'll now farm these fields and work the mines and get rid of these people that are, not get rid of, replace the people that are earning 150 pesos per day, which is $3 US per day, that are the farmers of this area. Welcome to the Universal Show of BuiltByKeith.com.